The middle pillar, science and the sacred, the compass within, awakening from the storm of trauma. Featuring our musical track Home to Myself, written and narrated by Daniel Tanguay and Lyle Rogers. Copyright 2025 The Middle Pillar Society. All rights reserved. This audiobook is licensed for personal use only. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or public performance is prohibited. Standing at the edge.
Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon, the expanse before you both daunting and breathtaking, the cold wind against your cheeks, the scent of wet stone rising from the depths, and a profound silence that steals your breath away. The canyon symbolizes the journey from living in the shadow of trauma to embracing the empowerment of healing. Many of us travel this path without a map, guided only by a flicker of hope that life can be different. Although the journey may feel solitary at first, remember that many have walked it before you, and others walk it alongside you now.
The aftermath of the storm.
Trauma strikes like a storm, reshaping the landscape of our lives. The sky fractures with thunder, and rain lashes against the walls we've built to feel safe. The ground beneath us shakes, and nothing looks the same when it ends. In its wake, we find ourselves navigating unfamiliar territory where enduring negativity feels normal. Like a house made from flimsy materials, we learn to tolerate conditions far from what we deserve, fearing that any attempt to demand better will cause our fragile shelter to collapse. But sometimes, the fear isn't just emotional, it's physical. For many, including my mother and me, the threat of speaking up was not only about losing those we loved. It was about losing everything she worked so hard to build: the roof over our heads, the food on the table, and the fragile stability we clung to in a chaotic world. In abusive environments, especially when resources are scarce, silence can feel like the cost of survival. Yet for many, the fear cuts even deeper. It is the terror of losing the people we love, even if they bring us pain. This paradox binds us. It twists our sense of loyalty and buries our boundaries beneath the rubble of unmet needs. We endure not only to protect a home, but also to preserve a connection we're afraid to live without. This endurance is born from a profound fear of losing everything, even the illusion of safety. Trauma whispers lies into our ears, convincing us that we are unworthy of love, respect, and kindness. And so we accept the unacceptable, clinging to the hope that endurance alone proves our value.
The first step, recognizing the lie.
Healing begins with a courageous act, recognizing that these whispers are untrue. Our worth isn't determined by how much we can endure, but by the intrinsic value we possess, simply by being alive. This realization is like finding a compass in the wilderness. It doesn't alter the terrain, but guides us towards self-compassion, dignity, and reclaiming our lives.
Unlearning and relearning.
The healing journey involves as much unlearning as it does learning. It requires shedding the belief that love means enduring pain and embracing the truth that setting boundaries is not selfish. It is an act of profound self-respect. We unlearn the notion that we are responsible for others' happiness. We unlearn the belief that our needs are burdensome. We unlearn the unspoken contracts that taught us pain was the price of love. This path is not linear. It wins, falters, and sometimes doubles back. However, every small step forward is a victory. Every act of self-recognition is a triumph over the false narratives that trauma has woven into our minds.
Clarity in relationships.
As we heal, our relationships evolve. We begin to view them through a lens of clarity, recognizing which connections nurture us and which drain our spirit. Healing doesn't require ruthless separation, but it does necessitate discernment. It takes courage to engage in difficult conversations, set boundaries, and sometimes walk away with pain. Yet by taking these steps, we create space for healthier, more supportive connections that honor our worth and contribute to our ongoing growth.
Crossing the invisible threshold.
There comes a moment, often subtle, almost imperceptible, when you realize you've crossed an invisible threshold. You no longer view yourself through the fractured lens of trauma. Instead, you see yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving of love, respect, and kindness. It doesn't always feel like a triumph. Sometimes it feels like breathing, like exhaling after holding your breath for years. There's a sense of softness in your chest, an unfamiliar peace, and a whisper that says, "This is different now." Crossing this threshold may not be marked by fireworks or grand proclamations. It might be as simple as speaking kindly to yourself after making a mistake, choosing rest over guilt, or feeling peace instead of panic when setting a boundary. These small moments reveal that the old map no longer defines your path. This empowerment is like standing atop a canyon, looking back at the path you've traversed. Every scar, tear, and moment of courage was a step toward reclaiming your life. You no longer wait for permission. You actively choose who earns a place in your life. You fiercely define how you will be treated. You are not just surviving, you are rising.
The compass within.
The journey from trauma to healing is one of the most challenging paths a person can undertake. However, it is also one of the most rewarding. It teaches us that strength is not solely found in endurance, but in the willingness to change, to choose ourselves, and to walk a new path guided by self-love. Healing is not a destination, but a lifelong unfolding, a compass that continually points us back to our true north, the undeniable truth of our worth.
A new horizon.
As you continue your journey, remember, you are not alone. With every canyon crossed and every storm weathered, we find each other. In the Middle Pillar Society, you walk among a community of travelers, each moving toward a horizon filled with hope, strength, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Together, we reclaim what was never truly lost: ourselves.
An invitation to the living conversation.
The words you've just read were not crafted in isolation. They were forged through the courage of countless souls who stepped forward to seek, question, and heal. Every chapter in the Middle Pillar symbolizes a vibrant conversation between those willing to venture into the unknown and those who dared to articulate their experiences in words. You are not merely a reader, but a traveler standing at the threshold of the same canyon, carrying the same light. If these words stir something within you, an insight, a question, a longing to connect, know that you are invited to reach out. Your voice matters, and your journey shapes the path for others who will follow you. Together, we are weaving something greater than ourselves, a living map of awakening, crafted by the footsteps of those brave enough to traverse it.
Introduction to Home to Myself.
Home to Myself is a song born from a profound realization. Healing begins when we stop waiting for external salvation. This song is for anyone who has ever had to rebuild themselves from silence, shame, or sorrow. For those who have walked through storms, lost themselves in survival, and are now ready to rise. It captures that pivotal moment when you stop running and discover that the sanctuary you've been seeking exists within yourself. This isn't a return to the past, it's a return to the truth, to the soul you were always meant to become. Not because you aren't worth saving, but because the one you've been waiting for has been within you all along. If you're listening to the audiobook, this track will play now. If you're reading this chapter live with us, close your eyes and listen.
I stood on the edge of a canyon wide, lost in the echoes of the storms I survived. The map was broken, the stars had fled, but something inside me still quietly led. Every scar, every tear, every broken shell, it was a beacon calling me back to myself. I'm coming home, home to myself. Through the fire, through the hell, every step No more running, no more disguise. I rise from the ashes with open eyes. I'm coming home, home to myself. Through the fire, through the hell. Every scar is a badge, every fall is a bell that rang me home to myself. Home to myself. Finally home. Home to myself.
Closing note.
This work, The Middle Pillar, Science and the Sacred, is made possible by the generous support of spiritual finders like you, those who not only seek, but actively uncover the truths that unite us all. If this chapter inspired you, please consider joining us in this sacred mission. Please support us at www.patreon.com/themiddlepillar. Your contributions directly enable the creation of new insights, music, and shared wisdom, helping us reach more seekers while spreading light to all who are ready to find it. Thank you for being a part of this transformative journey. Together, we illuminate the path for others.